Welcome to the Compact History podcast from compacthistory.com, formerly 5 Minute History, where we unpack the past in smart, snack-sized episodes. This is episode 91, The History of Snowboarding. Snowboarding, a thrilling blend of surfing, skateboarding and skiing, has become a global winter sport phenomenon. But its path from counterculture curiosity to Olympic mainstay is a tale of rebellion, innovation, and adrenaline. From homemade planks of wood to high-tech boards carving up powdery slopes, the history of snowboarding reflects both technological evolution and cultural transformation. The roots of snowboarding can be traced back to the early 20th century, when people began experimenting with ways to glide down snowy hills on more than just skis. One of the earliest recorded versions of a snowboard-like device was co-invented by Gunnar Bergersen and his brother. They patented the idea and called it a bunker. However, it wasn't until the 1960s that things began to crystallize into what we recognize as snowboarding today. In 1965, Sherman Poppen, an engineer from Michigan, invented the snurfer, a combination of snow and surfer, for his daughter. He fastened two skis together and added a rope for control. The snurfer was a hit and even spawned competitions, but it was still more of a toy than a serious sport. The 1970s saw the first serious attempts to develop snowboarding as a sport. Jake Burton Carpenter, often credited as the father of modern snowboarding, began modifying the snurfer and added bindings to give riders more control. In 1977, he founded Burton Snowboards, which would grow into one of the most iconic brands in the industry. At the same time, Tom Sims, a skateboarder from California, was also working on snowboarding prototypes. He built his own boards and helped bring a skateboarding style to snowboarding. Sims and Burton were key figures in the emergence of snowboarding as a sport, each pushing the technology and culture in unique ways. In the 1980s, snowboarding started gaining traction with a younger crowd, often those disillusioned with traditional skiing culture. It was edgy, rebellious, and full of attitude, but not everyone welcomed the change. Most ski resorts initially banned snowboarders, seeing them as a disruptive influence. Nevertheless, the sport's popularity continued to grow, driven by grassroots enthusiasm and the development of dedicated snowboarding gear. Boards became more sophisticated, incorporating side cuts for easier turning and improved control. As riders pushed the boundaries, new styles of riding emerged: freestyle, alpine, and freeride. Eventually, resorts began to relent. Stratton Mountain in Vermont was one of the first major ski resorts to open its slopes to snowboarders. Others slowly followed, recognizing the commercial potential. By the late 1980s, snowboarding had gained a firm foothold in the winter sports world. With increasing participation came organized competition. The first national snow surfing championships were held in 1982, which later evolved into the US Open Snowboarding Championships. These early contests helped establish rules and categories such as halfpipe and slalom. The 1990s were a transformative decade for snowboarding. In 1995, ESPN launched the X Games, a competition devoted to extreme sports. Snowboarding was one of its standout events, bringing the sport to a massive new audience. Riders like Terje Håkansson and Shaun White became household names, pushing the limits of what was possible on a board. These events helped legitimize snowboarding, both to the public and to sporting institutions. The daring tricks, youthful energy, and eye-catching gear made it a natural fit for televised competition. Sponsorships and endorsement deals followed, helping top athletes become global celebrities. The most significant milestone in snowboarding's journey came in 1998 when it debuted as an official Olympic sport at the Nagano Winter Games. The inclusion was controversial within snowboarding's core community, which had long prided itself on being anti-establishment. Still, the Olympics brought unprecedented visibility and funding to the sport. Olympic events like halfpipe and giant slalom introduced snowboarding to millions of viewers worldwide. Since then, new events such as slopestyle and big air have been added, keeping the sport dynamic and engaging. Snowboarding's Olympic journey hasn't been without drama, but it has undeniably helped cement its place in the global sporting landscape. Snowboarding has also seen significant technological advancements. Modern boards are engineered for specific styles. Freestyle boards are shorter and more flexible, while alpine boards are longer and stiffer, designed for speed and control. Innovations in materials, such as carbon fiber and lightweight composites, have improved performance. Bindings and boots have evolved to provide better support, comfort, and control. Safety gear, including helmets and impact shorts, has become standard. Outerwear has also transformed, blending high-performance materials with streetwear aesthetics to reflect snowboarding's dual roots in both sport and culture. Beyond the slopes, snowboarding has had a massive cultural impact. It has influenced fashion, music, film, and even language. Snowboarders helped popularize a laid-back, countercultural vibe that resonated with youth culture in the 1990s and 2000s. Snowboarding films and video segments became essential to the sport's identity, showcasing tricks and epic powder runs. Brands like Burton, Volcom, and DC Shoes became lifestyle icons, blurring the lines between sportswear and streetwear. Snowboarding also played a significant role in the rise of terrain parks, which are now a standard feature at many ski resorts. These parks, filled with jumps, rails, and halfpipes, cater to freestyle riders and have influenced skiing too, leading to the birth of freestyle skiing as a competitive discipline. Despite its success, snowboarding has faced challenges. After its rapid rise, participation began to plateau in the 2010s, particularly in North America. Factors include the high cost of equipment and lift tickets, injuries, and growing competition from other winter sports and activities. However, snowboarding continues to evolve. Indoor snow centers, splitboarding, snowboarding in the backcountry, and adaptive snowboarding for people with disabilities have expanded the sport's reach. Innovations in virtual reality and training tools are also changing how riders learn and progress. Environmental concerns have also become central to snowboarding's future. With climate change threatening winter seasons, many in the community are advocating for sustainable practices. Companies and athletes alike are pushing for greener production methods and increased awareness. From humble beginnings as a backyard toy to an Olympic sport and cultural touchstone, snowboarding's journey is one of relentless progression. It has inspired generations to push boundaries, embrace creativity, and find freedom on the slopes. Whether it's a kid carving their first turn or a pro soaring above a halfpipe, the spirit of snowboarding lives on, bold, expressive, and always chasing the next ride. I hope you enjoyed that episode of Compact History, part of the Compact Histories network. You can find more episodes and explore our other Compact shows at compacthistories.com. If you enjoyed the episode, please like, follow, or subscribe. And if you'd like to support the show more directly, why not consider buying us a coffee at compacthistories.com/historycoffee. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.